The next topic that I want to review is how to make timing adjustments. In many cases, the pads produce a swimmer's correct time, but problems arise when swimmers miss the pads malfunction, or the timing system fails. Meet Manager alerts you to these situations with a yellow, green, or blue line across the lanes in question. Note, however, that you'll work with an administrative official to determine whether or not the pad time should be adjusted. Never make any timing adjustments without the prior approval or direction from the administrative official. So let's talk about a lane malfunction. This means that a problem has occurred with one or more times in a heat, one or more lanes. Typical situations include a late pad touch or backup button times significantly slower or faster than the pad times. So here I have one event where the times have not already been adjusted. As you can see, I'm going to start with heat 1. We have a blue line in lane 6. A blue line indicates that the official backup time is 0.31 or more slower than the pad time. So here we have the backup times that are about 3:29. The pad time is 2:45, and therefore this is highlighted in blue. This typically happens when the swimmer misses the pad at the finish. So that's blue. Here we have yellow. With yellow, we have a backup time that is 0.31 or more faster than the pad time. So here we have backup times 3.09, the high 3.08, and the pad time is 3:15. This can happen when the swimmer touches the pad late. They may have actually missed the pad at the finish, but then touched after they actually finished the race. So those are yellow. And the third color is green. Here, if there are two backup times and one is within 0.30 seconds of the pad and one of the others is more than 0.30 seconds, it'll highlight green. So that basically means that one of the button times is confirming the pad, but one of the button times isn't. So whenever you see color, typically the administrative official is going to tell you whether or not to make a timing adjustment. At the beginning of the meet, you'll need to talk with the administrative official on whether or not you're going to make a timing adjustment, how that is communicated to you. Typically, what will happen is the administrative official will review the Colorado printout, make some notations on the sheet that makes it clear to you what you should do. So I'm going to go back to the first heat. So for this particular heat, the administrative official may tell you that for lane 6 to use the backup times. So for Meet Manager to make the timing adjustment, you go to the Calc button here, so I'll click it, and this window pops up. And what you can see is right now for lane 6, the primary or the pad time is 2:45, and it's not adjusted yet, so it's still 2:45. So I'm going to come over here and click this now, put a check, telling the computer, yes, I want to do an adjustment. And now what it's going to do is average the two button times. So now the adjustment time is 3:29:18. As you can see, none of the other lanes are affected. They don't have color, blue, yellow, or green, so you really don't have to worry about whether or not these are checked. But go ahead and check this, and we're going to accept the adjusted. And now what you see is, back to 1, that The finals time is now an average of the two buttons, 3:29:18. And over here in the adjust stat column, there's an A showing that that's an adjusted time. Now I'm going to go to the second heat. Second heat, the administrative official has reviewed the information and tells you that they want you to use the backup times for lane 3. But for lane 8, they want to keep the pad time. So we're going to go to the calc screen again. And in this particular case, because it's yellow, Meet Manager assumes you're going to want to adjust this. But never assume anything. Don't go with what the computer tells you. Go with what the administrative official tells you. So in this particular case, lane 3 is checked, and you see what was a primary pad time of 3:15:09 is now going to be adjusted to an average of the two buttons, 3:08. And down here you see it's unchecked. For green, the computer's not going to check it, and we don't want to check it because if I checked it, it would make an adjustment based on the pad times, but our administrative official told me that he or she wants to keep the pad time. So we're going to adjust lane 3, but leave lane 8 away. Okay, and I'm going to accept the adjusting. Okay, now I'm back to 2. So here you can see that there's an A in lane 3 for the adjustment. Over in lane 8, there's a question mark. And what basically Meet Manager is telling you is, there's a potential problem with this lane. Do you want to do anything? We've already reviewed it with the administrative official. He says, no, we want to leave the pad time. So now if I click the question mark, it becomes K, meaning okay, we've looked at it, we've decided what to do, and now I'm going to move on. You may have noticed there's some different colors here in the buttons for the different lanes. Green means everything's okay, we've adjusted everything, and blue means I'm actually on that heat, but everything's okay. Red means there's a potential adjustment, and yellow means I'm on that heat. So if I go to the third heat, we again have a pad time that's confirmed by one of the buttons, and the administrative official has told me that, yes, go ahead and keep the pad time. So we don't need to do any adjustment. We've reviewed it. I click that. Okay. And I'm going to go up to the 5th heat here. So if you notice up under event 1 in this upper left-hand window, it tells you there are 7 heats, question marks. It's telling me there are still 2 outstanding times that you should consider. It also tells you how many no-shows, disqualifications, and declared false starts. But it's telling me there are 2 left. So I've now come to heat 5, and I have 2 times that still need to be looked at and potentially adjusted. And we have one that's yellow, so that means the backup time is faster by more than 0.3 seconds than the pad time. And then we have one that's blue that tells you that the backup times are slower than the finals time. For lane 4, the administrative official decides it's a late pad and they want to use the backup times. And for lane 7, the administrative official decides, yes, we're going to use the backup times, but this is probably actually a split or an early pad time. So we're going to go ahead and hit the calc screen. We're going to adjust both of them. So now we've got an average here and we've got an average here. It's adjusted the times. We're going to accept it. And if I leave that event, we're now all fine. And we see all the yellow up here on top. So we've adjusted everything. It's all green. So now this event is done.